Hello, my name is Irina and I'm certified open yoga teacher. This material is for the site yogaopenyoga.com, where everybody can learn yoga from very basics and for free. We have started to talk about the topic kinds of yoga. And I know that a lot of people were expecting this topic to be discussed on the very first class when they just heard that they are going to study yoga. Took some time, but I hope you will understand why we did so and why it was necessary. Hatha yoga, very popular, the most popular kind of yoga and probably the most visual one. Because when person is meditating, sitting, then person has absolutely no kind of idea what this person is doing, just sitting and that's it. What's happening inside nobody knows. However, with Hatha yoga, when we are changing the poses from time to time and we kind of have seen some of those poses, it seems very understandable, comprehensible, find your own ways of description, and very nice actually. Because poses are harmonious. Sometimes they look difficult, some poses look like impossible, but there are many different people and many different approaches also for the Hatha yoga. And Hatha yoga actually is the static poses that we do with our physical body. And actually very much required in our today's life because it has a lot of stress. There is negative emotional and physical background, and people lack movements in their everyday life because a lot of things are done instead of them, and a number of the steps they make becomes less and less, and the work physically is also decreased. So what do? They use the sports for this reason, and sometimes it helps. However, if we are very stressed at work and we put a lot of stress also in the sports, trying to reach for the best result, for the highest results, it can turn out that we get tired, even more tired if we didn't do any sports. However, in the very beginning, it's quite a very pleasant feeling when we do sports. In yoga, what we do is we make the accent on the two extremes, on making the effort or using the consciousness method and the method of relaxing or ease, and this is the energy method. We start often with the energy method just to kind of get the first notion, first feeling, and only gradually we can proceed to the consciousness method where we put the effort. It is necessary, required, and for our today's life very much necessary. And if the life is more stressed, we use less stress and more ease on the yoga mat in Hatha yoga. Thereby in more detail, we will have the whole course on Hatha yoga. We already have it, and there you can see the poses, the exercises, the suggestions, recommendations. But for the first insight, if you are getting on your yoga mat, try with the method of ease. Just lay down and relax. In yoga, there's also, as I said, those two methods, but the main thing is making them harmonious, putting them together and finding the moment when you need to make an effort, when you kind of need to relax, and when you need to take a small pause in between to kind of analyze this and being there and that moment and feeling your body, how you feel. And this brings a lot of positive impact. So, and the good thing is that there are many poses you can use, and that they work even without the theory. A lot of people like to use the complicated Sanskrit names for the poses that were not known even by the ancient wise people. And there are different effects, and even if you are not doing one pose, you are automatically doing the other pose. There are a lot of them, even though we have lost quite a big part of this teaching. It's the one that has survived the most. And when we start practicing, we start understanding the theory behind it and the ideas behind it, because as in yoga, it's said that we have 3 bodies or 3 groups of bodies: physical body, mind body, and causal body. And when we are working, they are linked together or glued together in certain way. And if we start working with one, we automatically make the impact on the 2 others. And when we start working with the physical body, we gradually start feeling better, like on the physical level as such. Our mind becomes sharper and our emotions become more stable. We are more focused, more kind of aware of what is happening and what kind of actions are bringing what consequences. So understanding is good. So you have these 2 methods, and they will be discussed in more detail. They are everywhere in yoga, regardless of the kind of yoga. And what's the main thing for the beginners is the joy. The fact of the joy. It's not like, oh yes, the joy comes from the certain result or that you have exceeded your limits. No, it has to be there all the time. If you have forgotten how to relax, then yoga will learn you how to relax. If you have forgotten how to make an effort, yoga is there for you to learn it. If you have forgotten how to switch from the one condition to another, then also yoga will be there for you to do it. And this is all natural. You just let yourself to the feeling. There are no prerequisites on 10 or 20 pages. This is that you do with yourself. And of course, the yoga instructor is recommended in the very beginning, but it's not mandatory. You learn the basic poses quite fast, probably in a month. You find that the poses you like, or you can either ask the yoga instructor or yoga teacher to make these poses for you, or you can find 5 to 7 poses. The ones that would be forward bend and backward bend, bending to the right and to the left. Then you would need some power poses like the plank pose. You would need some poses that you like a lot, the one that you can relax, and just working probably also with some challenging poses, and not like I was able to take a tree pose or a prayer pose for the 5 seconds, so I know this pose and I forget about it. But the essence is in the regular practice that you kind of get deeper in each pose, and even the poses that seem very simple from the outside can give a lot of beneficial effects inside and outside. So use them as your inspiration. This is the beginning. You will see also the visual changes. You will notice some emotional changes. There's also, if you find it difficult to firstly to invent poses for yourself, there's also prostration yoga. The most popular one is sun salutation, but if it can be difficult for the beginners, and a lot of people attach it to the breathing. Believe me or not, the breathing will come with the time. At first you do it, you learn kind of the movement, and then little by little your body will adjust to it, and you will notice that the way they recommend you to breathe, that this will happen automatically, or maybe there can be some kind of deviations from it, but that's fine. You don't reach for the picture of the kind of perfect yogis, because the evaluation is happening inside. Nobody from outside can tell you how good you succeed in hatha yoga. Thereby, there's a lot of things to think about. We still have more classical kinds of yoga to discuss, but start with this very basic one. If you found this topic interesting, then hope you are looking for the course of Hatha Yoga and the master classes of Hatha Yoga. And we will meet next time, and the test is yours. Thumbs up.